you, and then we'll very good evening to all our viewers today. Today we have with us a very seasoned politician who has served as a member of Estimates Committee, Chairman Assurance Committee, 5 members of the Constituency Delimitation Committee. He is a senior Communist Party leader, and he's also the president of the Kerela Tourism Development Corporation Employees Federation. He has also served as a member of Kerala Legislative Assembly from Nadapuram constituency. Let us all welcome Shri Binoy Viswam, a Rajya Sabha Member from Kerala representing Communist Party of India. A very warm welcome, sir, on youth questions.
Thank you.
Sir, you have been in
May,
active
may, may,
politics.
may I tell you one thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, of course.
You introduced me as a seasoned politician, and I would like to be called as a average man with his own concept of life and politics and friendship with the people. That would be enough. Not a seasoned politician.
So you're being very humble. Thank you so much. You have been in active politics since the school days. What was your inspiration at that time to join politics, and what did you want to change at that time?
It is true that I joined the student movement in my school days. I was very active in the All India Students Federation from my class 7s, which is the upper primary classes. And I became the president of the AISF unit committee in my school. I think that I enjoyed that life in all means. All my concepts of my values, my imaginations for the country, for the future, all were having its first roots in those days. Then your question, what prompted me to join the movements? I am the son of a communist. My father was a communist. He was a freedom fighter, and he was one of the leaders of the Communist Party in my state of Kerala in the beginning. And in freedom movement, he was participating as a Congress young activist. Then he found that the Congress Party was not the vehicle for them to realize their ideological and political perspectives. So a good chunk of young people in the Congress Party, they through the Congress Socialist Party, they became the Communist Party in Kerala. That was the track of those generations. My father had a life of sufferings, long years in underground, so many years in jail, always in the thick and thin of the people's struggles. I can very clearly say that this was a life of sacrifice. As a small boy, I was hearing about those life of my father and his comrades. I found that they were having a cause to fight for, and they have noticed how sincerely and stubbornly they fought for that. In my small consciousness, I think it had an imprint, and they thought that they are right. My father and his comrades are right. So I thought in my small heart and my brain that I should be with that work. That's why I joined the student movement. I was a very active member, and from every step I was with the movement. And I can say the ups and downs may come in politics. Also. My party may win, my party may fall. But I can tell you one thing very emphatically that I am proud to be a communist. And I will remain as a communist. I will never be a fortune seeker. That's all.
So it's extremely inspirational to learn from you and to understand your viewpoint. Now the corona times are going on. And we would like to understand at the present time what are the initiatives that have been taken under your aegis for the people of Kerala.
I could not follow you properly. Can you repeat what you mean?
So, what are the initiatives taken by you for the people of Kerala during the Corona times?
Okay. During the Corona times, I was an MP, I was a leader, I was a man known in the Kerala society. So I know that because of my professions, my convictions, and my affinity with the people and society, I was knowing that I am supposed to do something, not to sit idle in my home. I mobilized all my trade unions in which I am working. I mobilized my party comrades. I mobilized my friends. And all of Kerala had a big like, people's initiative for community kitchen, get the people for volunteer work. We know that work. I don't say that I did it myself. It was a big, massive movement in which thousands of people took part. The government had the initiative. The left government in Kerala had a big initiative, and they could mobilize innumerable number of people for such kind of activities. We collected vegetables, we collected utensils, we collected food grains, we collected medicines, we collected so many things, and we collected money also. And it was a big moment of the people, and I am very sure that I was a part of it. I don't claim that I was leading everything, but I was one of those who played an important role in mobilizing the people towards that great cause under the initiative of the Kerala government itself. I was a part of it.
Okay. So during the Corona times, as you see that unemployment has only increased across the globe, especially among the educated youth. How do you think that this situation could be curbed? Sir, I would repeat my question. During the Corona times, during the Corona times, unemployment has only increased, especially of the educated youth. How do you think that this situation could be curbed?
This Corona, Corona times affected the country as a whole. It affected the world as a whole, in fact. But India was affected in a very bad way. All segments of people, they were hit badly. And the poor, they suffered a lot. The MSME was broken its backbone. Lakhs and lakhs of people became unemployed. And we saw the migrant laborers walking hundreds of kilometers to their villages to save their lives and to their family. They were doing it. I don't know with what we can compare those massive exodus of the people during those days. That is regarding the migrant laborers. But as you told, the young people, the educated youth, they lost their jobs. In every states and every countries, we know that the industries were closed. In the shops, they put their shutters, and offices were closed. And there was no hesitation for the employers and the governments of the employers that they put all the burdens on the working people, whether young or old. The burdens were supposed to be borne with the working people, and the rich and the higher ups, they were only preaching great things to suffer, to come united, and all those things. We know what has happened. The 35, the rich people in the Indian society, they could increase their profits to the tune of 35% during the COVID days. And when you look the other side, the the bottom level of people, including the youths, educated youth including, and the working people in every sector, they lost everything. They lost their lives, lost their livelihoods, they lost their means of uh, bringing their life to a normal situation. It happens, and the recovery is not at fulfilled. We may say it has just begun. Just begun. I don't know how many years it may take for them to come back to their normal life. And the government is not very serious about that. I can say that the government believes that they have done everything, which is not true. In the parliament, we are hearing it every day. In the address of the president, we heard it. In the finance minister's budget, we heard it. They claim and they believe themselves and they want the country to believe that they did everything perfectly well. But the truth is not that. They failed everything. The government of our country is a failed government. It's a failed government. They could not address the challenges posed by Corona very effectively. But they did something. I don't say that they did nothing. They did something. But what we expect them to do, they could not do anywhere near that. In the presidential address itself, they were claiming that 70% of the population of India are having 2 doses of vaccines. What does it mean? It means that 30% of the Indian people are yet to be vaccinated. Yet to be vaccinated. They are not having an insulation from the COVID virus even today. We claim that we are exporting vaccines to foreign countries. Because of that, we are saying that the whole world is looking to India with envy because we are doing wonders here. They claim that India and the Prime Minister is the Vishwa Guru. All these are high-sounding words. But in this land of the Vishwa Guru, we are seeing that 30% of the Indian population are yet to be safe from the attack of the coronavirus. They close their eyes. The starvation, the hunger, the global hunger index says that India stands at 101 position in the world. In a comparative study which covered 116 countries, our position is this 101. And we are lower than in the performance, we are lower than even Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal, our neighbors. And these are the real facts. You look at the Oxfam reports, a day of the Davos conference. You study the CMIE reports. You look at the World Inequality reports. I don't want to repeat all those figures. It may become very monotonous to listen to statistics or data much more. But all these studies of which the world is taking care of, it shows that India, the income divide is growing. The rich become more rich. The poor became more poor. And their questions are yet to be unaddressed. Everything the exploiting class, they were making to their benefits. And the government was colluding with them to squeeze the people of India and to give the benefits and fortunes at the feet of the looters of this country. Now they talk about privatization. The budget itself is saying, with proud the finance minister in her address to the parliament is telling as a big achievement that they let off Air India, the national carrier private agencies. Then she repeated in the same way they are going to sell off the LIC, which is a greatly performing public sector enterprises, highly performance-wise, highly commendable, most efficient, which could compete with any private insurance companies of the world. It proved its mettle that LIC will be privatized very soon. And the defense sector of the country already privatized. And this budget of this year, it shows that it's a manifesto for privatization. It's a manifesto for looting the country. It's a concurrence for the rich people to come and plunder the common man of this nation. And we believe that the young people are the most affected. Unemployment rate in India is shooting up, is shooting up. I don't want to go again to the figures. They are knocking at every doors. I'm repeating, even the educated youths, they are having. I was a man who was trying hard in the parliament and outside for a new employment project, which is called Bhagat Singh National Employment Guarantee Act, in lines with the Manarega, which covers the rural unemployment. Banega, Bhagat Singh National Employment Guarantee Act will be of use for the educated youth in the urban areas. The government, my resolution was there in the parliament, in our speeches, I never get a chance to do it. I am preaching and I am present for that, but the government is not listening to them. You know, in recently in Bihar, you saw 35,000 were the vacancies with the railways. 2.1
Absolutely, sir.
1.35 crores people applied for that. Why this violent scenes in the streets of Patna? This shows how severe the unemployment in this country. And don't forget. So this is the time for the
I
country
I
to
I
accept the
reckon
fact and see the fact.
Sure, sir. I reckon with you.
Yes.
So moving on to our next question. Kerala is one of the top tourist locations and is also known as God's own land, being the most beautiful state in India. It still has the lowest score in terms of cleanliness survey, 661.26, a survey conducted by the Ministry of Urban Development. You are also leading the Kerala tourism development. What do you think would be particular reasons that you could cite?
Your voice is muffled. I could not hear you properly.
Am I audible, sir? Am I better?
I could gather that you are talking about the tourism potential of Kerala. Am I right?
Cleanliness. The
I
cleanliness
imagine that you
survey.
asked about the Kerala tourism potential.
We apologize for the intermittent disruption due to the internet challenges at our guest side. Yes, I hope I am better now. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, it's better. Now I can hear you. I can see you. Am I audible for
Wonderful,
you?
sir. So I was asking, yes, sir, clearly audible, visible, everything. My question to you was Kerala is the top tourist location and often known as God's own land in India. It still has the lowest score of 661.26. That is one of the last spots by the cleanliness survey conducted by the Ministry of Urban Development. Uh, Although it is the most erudite and learned state in the country, what do you think could be the particular reasons and how could this challenge be addressed?
I can tell you two facts at the outset. No doubt, Kerala is rightly called as the ground, God as the God's own land. Its natural beauty is so great and so attractive in one sentence. It will throb your heart. The backwaters, the rivers, the greenery everywhere, or hillocks, or western ghats, and it's a land of beauty and very educated people. Civilized they are very friendly with anybody who visits the states, and their way of behavior, they are well with everybody. All these are our plus points. But one minus point that you mentioned is right. I would call it as a challenge of our tourism growth. And cleanliness, we don't stand up to the mark. The reasons are so many. The government of Kerala is aware of that fact. Our local self-governments, including the corporations and municipalities, they are concerned about it. Our political parties and our trade unions and our social organizations, the NGOs, all are aware of this fact. Time to time, we take some initiatives to address this problem. But I should confess, it's not yet completely successful. We know that we have to march forwards to miles to go forwards before we sleep. We will not sleep, but if we want to sleep, before that sleep, we have miles to go. And we have promises to keep, as Robert Frost wrote. We know it. We will be on that path.
Highly appreciated, sir. Sir, you were former forest minister in the government of Kerala during 2006 to 2011.
I
There is
was the I was,
incessant.
I was the Minister for Forest and Housing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now, sir, there is incessant deforestation for mining activities legally as well as illegally in many Indian states. What steps do you think should be taken to increase the reforestation and decrease the deforestation activities?
I can tell you, not only as the former Forest Minister of Kerala, but as a Communist Party member, as a committed environmentalist, I should tell you that the forests of India are constantly under threats. The new economic policies advanced by the neoliberal concepts, which is market oriented and profit oriented, it has least concern for the environment. It is not at all concerned about the forests. This is a global phenomena, and this is the reality in India too. Whatever the ministers and the heads of states may assemble and commit in Paris, the Paris Agreement, that commitments they are not going to fulfill with full sincerity. In words and deeds, they should go in the same spirit. In words, they are okay, but in deeds, they are not okay. Because there is a market-based trend in the economic concept of the whole world today. Capitalism has no limit for its greeds, and many countries are going through the capitalist path, and that path is now having a bigger edge in this country than the world today. And so I believe that the deforestation and the attack on the environment has a political meaning also. I used to say everywhere when we discuss this issue that global warming is no more a myth. Climate change is no more a myth. Global warming and climate change is a reality. And that reality is haunting all of us, our coming generations, our daughters and sons. They will come come and ask us, where is our oxygen? Where is our beautiful planet? What happened to our greenery? Why you kept silent and idle when all these were questioned by the greedy looters of some other nations or this nation? What were you doing? As a generation, we have no answers. So I am a man among those people who are really pain at our heart on this situation. I believe that global warming is the child of globalization. Globalization has only one goal or one god, and that god is profits. Globalization has a religion, and that religion is greed. Greed is their religion. Profit is their god, and market is their temples. This is what I say, what I see today. In that situation, for the appeasement of this god of profits, governments are trying to squeeze out the nature. They have no concern for the Mother Earth. They may call it Mother Earth. The heart of hearts, they don't think that the earth is the mother. Earth is the mother, not only this generation. Earth is the mother of all the generations to come. When they come, they should have safe water to drink, safe air to breathe, safe soil to stand on. Where is that? What's the guarantee for that? I think the biggest threat on the forests, in the environment today, the backcutters. We have big acts. We have Forest Protection Act. We have Biodiversity Act. We have acts on water. We have acts on air pollution. All these are there. Only for namesake. The recent moves for the amendments and changes in these acts, you look at it. The sole purpose is to allow private capital to enter everywhere as they like. Mines are coming to loot everything, and they are giving. They are trying to provide ample opportunities for the private investors, not small people, big people, to come everywhere and do whatever they like, to loot everything of this country. They're inviting everybody, come, loot, conquer, and take this country's fortunes together with you to any country. I can tell you, they talk about developments. They talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat. In the same vein, they talk about growth of the FDI, foreign direct investments. That means the lock and key of the development of Atmanirbhar Bharat is given to the FDI or foreign corporates. In banks, we are seeing it. LIC, we are seeing it. Air India, we are maybe domestic or maybe multinational. They are invited with red carpets. They are being invited. The whole sectors of life are meant for them. I don't want to name everything. I can tell you in short: the earth, the skies, and the apes, the padal, all are open for them for the. So it will naturally affect the forests. Forests are crying. Nature is crying. So let there be a big movement, mainly of the young people, to come together for the security and safety of our forests. I was very proud. I am proud, not was. I am even today is proud to tell you that as a forest minister, I could do something. During those days, I can tell you, we fought with the forest mafia and we defeated them. With the support of the people, we mobilized the people in the forest areas everywhere in the state. It's a people's war against the mafia and we defeated them. Our forests were safeguarded and I stood as a committed forest minister. People may sometimes tell that I was very strict on issues. I was. I believe that only a strict forest minister can safeguard the forest. Otherwise, if he is not strict, they will come and plunder the forest. It did not happen in Kerala. In Kerala, the people are aware. I am grateful for the young people of Kerala, the young generation, that they stood with me and the government of the LDF. That this nature, the environment, the forests are to be protected for the future. In those days, I coined a slogan for the Kerala Forest Department, which was its watchword in those days. Kerala Forest Department for nature and for future. That's my conviction. Forests are for the future. Forests are for the nature. In that spirit, we have to go forward. One more thing I want to say, as a Marxist who believe in Marxism, we have extra commitments towards nature. Because Marx, our philosopher, our great guide, had amply written about the importance of the nature and the duty to safeguard it. So, as a true Marxist, we are all committed towards nature and towards the forest equally. Thank you.
Sure. Highly appreciate you sharing your viewpoints on this, and we really appreciate the work and the contribution. We really appreciate your work and contribution in reforestation. Am I audible? Yes, sir. I hope I'm
Sorry,
audible
it
to
was
you.
cut off. Sorry, it was cut off.
No, no, that's perfectly all right, sir. So we wanted to know what is your vision for Kerala in the coming 5 years, and the present scenario of the political system. In 3 to 4 lines, we have some of the questions from the audiences as well to be addressed.
You mean that I should be now available for the audience to ask? So let them ask.
No, we wanted to know what is your vision for Kerala in the coming 4 to 5 years, and your thoughts on the current political system.
No, I think for the future of Kerala, not only for 5 years, but for so many years further, should be a different way of developments. Kerala is having a different path of developments, different from that of the Indian general way of development, because there is a left government in Kerala. I think the left government, it being a left government, has to show an alternative path for the people of the country, not only of Kerala, but of the whole country, that we have a developmental path in which people are the focus. The center stage is for the people. And most of the people in our society are not rich people, but poor people, the middle class people. And they are having a vision of their future. They have the right to have developments. So, with their ideas and their concepts in mind, a left government is trying to find developmental path in Kerala. And in that path, I should tell that it was initiated by the first government of the Communist Party in Kerala, which came to power in 1957. In 1957, Kerala could see a communist governments. Then so many governments led by the Communist Party leaders came to rule the state. In that long history, I would like to point out one government, a government led by the CPI leader, Comrade C. Achyuthamenon, in 70s, a government which laid the foundations for the future Kerala. And that foundations are very strong. And all the left governments that came after that government were working on that foundation, and that foundation was well maintained, and new constructions are taking place on that foundation. Now Kerala is much developed. Our present government of the left front, led by our leader, Comrade Pinarayi Vijayan, is doing really good work for the people and for the state's development. And that development, which is people oriented, which is future oriented, has to be strengthened and taken forward. This is what I have to say. Not only for 5 years, we say it is for the future. I believe that Kerala has a political obligation for the country, to the country. That obligation is that to show the people of India that another way is possible. Another way is possible. The possible way is Kerala way, and the way in which the governments of the righteous parties run in their states is not for the people always. They talk about the people, but they are not concerned about the people. Everybody knows that during the COVID days, the Kerala government was the government which took the people's lives as the most important thing. As the apple of the eye, the Kerala government cared for the poor people affected by the COVID in those very challenging days of the pandemic. No other state came near Kerala in that day. And it shows that whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is a question mark, Kerala will address those issues from the people's point of view. Our main concern is the common man and their hunger, their development, their what education, their young sons and daughters' employment. All these are the concerns of the left government. In that way, the left is different. I believe that left is different and left should be different, not only by its words, but in its actions also. The left need to be different. In that way, Kerala has a message to the whole nation, and that message is relevant not only for the coming 5 years. That message of relevance is for the next so many years, so many decades, and I'm hopeful that the country will take note of it.
Highly appreciated, sir. Thank you for sharing your vision. These are some of the questions we've received from the audiences. Mr. Ingale has asked, Alappuzha is the forest free district. What do you do for it? We've got a question from Mr. Mudavana on Facebook. Please arrange eco-friendly tourism in India. What is your opinion? And we've received appreciation from Ms. Smita Sitantri from the US on the very useful discussion related to the income gap in India. Hope we come up with constructive suggestions. So, if I may request you to answer the question on the Alappuzha, which is a forest-free district, and how can we, what can we do for it, and on organizing eco-friendly tourism, and also
No, no,
IICSR is an
I could not hear you properly. What was the question? About forest? I
uh,
could not
uh,
listen to you properly.
Alappuzha. Okay, okay.
Allah Puja,
Alappuzha is a forest-free district. Yeah,
Allah Puja.
yeah.
It's a
Forest-free district.
Alappuzha. Okay, Alappuzha. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's no forest there. That's true. The only state in
Yeah. So
Kerala,
what
district
can
in
we?
Kerala, only district in Kerala where there is no forest, natural forest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 So, what
Ah,
can we do for that? And another is how can we organize from Mr. Samad Mudavana? How can we organize
what
eco-friendly
Manam?
tourism in India?
What Manam?
How
What
can we
Manam?
organize eco-friendly tourism in India?
I think that every tourism should be eco-friendly. If tourism is not eco-friendly, that tourism will fail in a couple of decades. Because for any meaningful tourism, the people or tourists are coming to a place to see the nature, not to see the big buildings and the lavishness there. For that, they can go to any place. They come to Kerala, and many of the tourist places all over the world is to see and enjoy and to be part of the serenity of the nature. Once it is destroyed, tourism is destroyed. So a meaningful tourism, a tourism for the future should be eco-friendly, not only
Thank
in its
you.
advertisement, but for its essence also. That's why when we talk of in Kerala, there's a system also intact in which the forest department and the tourism department are holding their hands together, which is eco-tourism officially put up by the government of Kerala. In that also, we are very clear that the emphasis should be on the ecology and the environment. Don't allow anybody to come and do anything they like. There should be restrictions in the tourist areas. Restrictions in so many ways. Don't allow anybody to do whatever they like. Don't make any tourist place as a dustbin of plastic waste.
I'm sorry for the interruption again. Yes, sir.
I am not.
Yes, so we understand in the digital world there are challenges with the internet. We totally
Now,
understand that.
now,
My last,
now, now, now the government is one sentence. Now the government is claiming that everything will be solved by digital world. And in the budget also, the mantra is digital because so many solutions like this. It's a technical. The main thing is digital divide. More than half the people of the country are digitally are on the other side of the divide. So don't think that a country like India or in the whole world, digitalization is the only way out. It's a great achievement of humanity. But the reality is that it has to take its concern of the unfortunate people, less fortunate people, and their sorrows, expectation. So it's a very good. We need to tell you this.
sure, sir. So our last but not the least question, IICSR is a dedicated institute for developing responsible business leadership. How do you see that the corporates and the NGOs can come forward and support your vision? Also, this question of Allah Puja is remaining. So, if you would want to address it, that would be great. Mr. Ankile could understand how do you address
So I
it.
think
These are the last two
practically,
questions, sir.
practically to make the big forest in the sequence, Alapura, we cannot make a big forest. We can have small places where we can plant trees and we can grow forests. But a natural forest is something else. A natural forest demands a special atmosphere for it. It can be built only by the nature. In that way, Alapura will be no big forest in a big way as we imagine. No. But in Alapura, if the people decide to come together in many places, they can plant trees in large numbers and they can have the benefits of the forest in so many ways. The main benefit is that pure oxygen. It begins like that. That way it is possible. I have seen in many villages of Alapura, the panchayats took the initiative. In many places, individuals privately took the initiatives. In their own land, they planted trees in hundreds of trees they planted. And I can see that that trees are long grown up and in that area, small forest-like situation has come. The eco atmosphere, the landscape itself is becoming like a semi or small forest. That is possible. But in the reality of that, when we take into account the shortage of the land of Alapura and the landscapes, peculiar nature, if you take into account, it's mainly a waterlogged district. In the eastern part of the district, there are some places which is not waterlogged, but there are its own limitations because no space is available there for forests. So don't expect that a big forest will emerge. Forest atmosphere can be huge in many places. The people live. NGOs and the corporates. Many times I have noticed corporates by the
Okay, sir.
name is slow. My time is over. I have come a lot. NGOs of different types. So they cannot be put in the same baskets. NGOs are there which are doing serious work and sincere work committed to a cause. I have seen the NGOs who are only for money and only for money and only for money. Such NGOs are also there. Maybe the second type of NGOs may be more vibrant or more active. But I have more respect for the first type of NGOs. And the corporates, if they are having a social responsibility, of which they talk too much, if they do have a social responsibility, they would spare their CSR funds with these NGOs of the first category. Many a times they go behind the second category of the NGOs. A challenge before the NGOs, a challenge before the corporates, a challenge before you and me who evaluate them. I don't know in which category you as an NGO will come into. I don't know. It's the challenge before you.
Sure, sir. We highly appreciate the time that you have given us. Any message to all our viewers who are watching you and will watch you in future?
Now, then time I can tell you, I was trying to be honest in my words to you. I never tried to become a professional. That I told you, I'm not a seasoned politician. I'm an average human being. And such a man like me only interact with you in this way. Not only with you, in any interactions, I prefer to be like this. I may not be professional in English, may not be professional in my approach, may not be tactful in my words, but I am human in my concepts. That's my claim.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It has been wonderful interacting with with the senior most leader of the CPI party, and we wish you all the very best in all your endeavors, and would like to contribute as and wherever we could. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I don't know how many people could take part in this discussion or in this program, but anyhow, without seeing anybody of them by face, I remain respectful before them. Thank you. Mainly to young people.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Welcome to our show. Um, this is Youth Questions, which is an initiative of Digital Parliament. How did you? What is your journey of life? How did you get into politics? What was the inspiration?
I was having interest in social life and politics right from the day one. I'm a RSS volunteer from my childhood.
To start with, it's a long journey, almost a journey of last 22 years. Gradually, see, it happened a long, long back, I think, before 4 decades when I was small.
जीवन में सबसे 3-4 टाइम आया, ऐसा आया बहुत डिफिकल्ट था। जैसे राम मंदिर का आंदोलन हुआ था 92 में, जो बाबरी मस्जिद को ढांचा को तोड़ा गया था, उस टाइम मेरे जीवन में, मेरे परिवार के जीवन में सबसे कठिन था।
Actually, that was like, as you said, it's an opposition tactics and tricks they have played on us. I think I was very clear on that, particularly giving my statement to the press on the same day itself, because I was busy campaigning and there were rumors that I was leaving an office and I was shutting down my office.
But what youth has in them is a vigor, dynamism, physical capabilities, also idealism to do something good for the society, and they are going to be citizens of the country for a much longer period than the senior citizens are.
Challenges brings the courage and strength both. The strength to stand for the truth and the courage is to face whatever may be the outcome of the same.
You have to stand on your own and be your own individual. You have to say that this is the way, this is Priya Dutt. Proud to be Sunita's daughter, but I'm not Sunita.
Thank you very much. It has been a lovely conversation. I didn't realize we've already spoken for over an hour and a half. So, I am grateful for all of you to have given me this opportunity. It's always good to talk to young people.